Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish installation of the light switches here and the outlet. Just going to install this plate. I've turned my power off already, and I already know the power's off because the lights aren't turning on, but just to be on the safe side, go ahead and check that. So I actually need to move these out a little bit more. Here's how they look. So I need to put a little bit put some spacers on here so that I can move these out just a tad. And I've got these things here, which are made for that. I'm gonna start out with probably 2. Now I just want to check the fit. Actually, I need to cut these tabs off because it's preventing my plate from going down all the way. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so same thing with the other one. Good to go. Yeah, that's nice. I decided that I didn't really like the lighting above my workbench, which is arguably the most important part of the garage, which I'm going to be spending the most time on, so I had to buy another light. You can see I have all the lights on right now, and it's still kind of dark in this corner here, and directly above the workbench, so I decided to opt for one more light. So I went down to the hardware store and bought one of these. It was pretty cheap, I think it was under 20 bucks. And I still have some extra bulbs left over, so I'm just gonna see if I can use this and get it up here somehow. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because it's gonna be partially underneath this storage rack and then partially hanging. So I need to put it in a position where I don't block the wood too much, so that I can still slide it up there and not have to take the light down every time. And I also don't want to block my pegboard here, so if I put it too close, I'm not going to have access to that anymore. I don't really use this top area here, but I at least want to keep as much utility there as possible. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to try and go ahead and put this up in a position that I'm happy with. This type of light is actually easier to install than the previous surface mount ones that we installed, because all you have to do is plug it in. All the electrical stuff is already done. And what's nice is it already has an integrated on-off switch. So I can turn it on and off as I please, separate from the rest of the garage as well. So here is the hardware that comes with this particular light. It comes with 2 chains and S-hooks for attaching it to the fixture, like so. There you go. And you just hang it from the chains. The only hardware that you have to supply is however you're going to attach it to the ceiling. So here's the hardware that I need to install it in my particular ceiling. Half of this installation is going to go into the bottom of my plywood shelf, so I'm just going to drill a small hole and then use this screw eye bolt, and the other side is going to go into drywall ceiling. So I have a 3/16 inch toggle bolt attached to a turnbuckle, and that just has a hook at the end, or an eye bolt. So basically, since this is 4 feet, this is 6 feet, I need to come in about a foot from wherever the table side is, and that'll be about where I mount everything. I think I'm just going to go ahead and mount the eye screw eye bolt, whatever, in the bottom of this shelf first. But I want to see whether there's any studs, any joists that I'm going to hit first. Alright, so I've got my mounting line marked here. I'm going to be drilling the hole for the mounting hardware somewhere along this line, basically. Okay, so what I'm looking for here when I hold this up is how well my workbench is lighted and where it is in proximity to my head, how easily I can grab stuff off of my pegboard, and how obstructed my shelf here is going to be. Just going to see kind of where that falls. So this is about where my mounting line is going to be. So this part I want to be as short as possible, so I'm basically just going to hook that directly to my S-hook. Not bad. All right, there we go. So we're fully installed, nice and level. And only thing left to do is install the drawstring. Here we go, switch number 1. Switch number 2. And also above the workbench. Yeah, this is much better. I mean, it's not to be cliche, but it's night and day compared to what it was before. I can actually use my workbench now. It's very light. You don't see hardly any shadows. A little bit, but I think we can work with that. And yeah, it's just so much better in here. I'll be able to really see my work surfaces a lot better. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think this project turned out really nicely. And I have a ton of light now to work with. So that's it. Garage lighting project done.